last couple of days, Boston Dynamics has shocked the world by releasing the first look at their new humanoid robot from hell. This man was caught doing something extremely creepy. We got the Taliban patrolling the streets on rollerblades, and Dubai is still getting battered by huge storms. But the question everyone seems to be asking is, did Dubai cause this destruction themselves? All of that and more, so let's get cracking. Welcome everyone to the first ever second video of the week. Clap, 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 clap. Alex is, while I clap, is going to be applause. It's not going to sound all weird and silent. Clap, 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 clap. Everyone watching this video right now, I want to tell you, you are a part of history. And for our first story to kick things off, it's a wild one. A man was just caught on camera in a Target, of all places, bending down and trying to place his phone under a woman's skirt.
Excuse me, what are you doing? No, I just saw you put that underneath her dress. I have it on video. You are not going to get away with anything.
Ma'am, I'm not.
You can say ma'am all you want, but we will let them decide.
And what's absolutely wild is that when he was confronted, he repeatedly says, I wasn't trying to do anything and that I'm not that kind of person. But 1080p says otherwise. And I mean, the only reason he was caught was because luckily another customer noticed him following the other woman around and she was like, looks a little dodgy. I might just record just in case something happens. And happens it did. Things happened. What? W woman. Police were quickly called. He was arrested. He got his phone seized to check what other shit could be on there. And then he was released on a bond. But then, the next day later, he was rearrested, charged with felony secret peeping, which I didn't even know that was a thing, and is now being held in jail on a $20,000 secured bond. Yeah. Shit just got serious. And then after that, once journalists jumped on the scene, we found out the 21-year-old was a volunteer at an elementary school and was a parishioner at a church where it appears he was recently baptized. Bro was repenting for something. Both places say that he will now be not allowed back. And I mean, this kind of story always blows my mind because the risk to reward ratio doesn't really make any sense. Bro threw his entire life away for this. Like, go on the internet, bud. Anyway, let's move on because talking about creepy, Boston Dynamics just decided to drop this horror piece. Destroy. And honestly, this robot makes Tesla's Optimus look like a freaking child's toy. Bit harsh, but you get the point. For starters, the reason they decided to showcase this thing by making it stand up in the most creepy way possible was not just to freak people out. It was to showcase the incredible strength and range of movement this newest edition has. And I'm sure Alex is like zooming into all of the joints swiveling and like, this is, if you know robots, this is actually crazy. I mean, bro is doing things with his hips that give me an impingement just watching it. And I mean, if you really want to go there, for comparison, when Tesla demoed their robot, this was pretty much the most range of movement that we saw from good old Optimus. I mean, I've seen OAPs do these kind of movements for their exercise at their care homes. And because this is not a new robot, it's just the latest edition of their robot Atlas that we're all very familiar with, ones with like the backpack things, we can expect this version to be able to do all of the same movements and wild parkour backflips, but with the added mobility of swiveling joints, which wasn't possible on the old versions. They also claim that it is now stronger, more dexterous, and somehow even more agile. And the old one was doing backflips, front flips, side, whatever the fucks. It was better than most humans at parkour, so crazy. Another interesting choice, which is unlike Optimus with the delicate hands touching the yag, you probably remember that clip. Boston Dynamics chose grippers, which when they're not being used, look like a flat surface to like push off of. But as we've seen in other videos, when it needs to pick something up, it extends these 3 large retractable fingers that come out to grip things. And since all of this is the result of like more than 10 years of work and testing and experiments, we can expect a lot more demos that will terrify and amaze the world coming very soon. But more similar to Tesla is actually what Boston Dynamics want to use this machine for in the future. They say they've designed Atlas to perform dull and dangerous tasks that humans don't want to do, like delivery drivers, working in factories, doing household chores such as tidying up, making dinner, mowing the lawn, shopping for groceries, taking care of elderly family members, all in the next 10 years. So the question is, do you find this future scary or exciting? Let me know. But moving on. Espresso break. Or shall I say, rolling on, because I just found out today that the Taliban security forces sometimes patrol the streets using rollerblades. In videos first posted in November, you can see military personnel holding onto trucks before pushing off and skating through cars, weapons in hand. And when the videos were first released, many had questions whether this is real because the streets of Kabul are commonly packed and are full of cracks and potholes, which would make skating at these speeds extremely dangerous. I mean, just one confident pebble can ruin your day. But nevertheless, the videos were actually verified by The Telegraph as genuine, so real. In fact, it's not just Afghanistan, because other countries have also experimented with police on rollerblades before, including France and Pakistan. London even tried to test this out too, but they abandoned it just months later, after the people that they were chasing would simply run across the grass, where the police on rollerblades couldn't follow. But where they can follow is me to the next story. It's pretty good. A video of the... Hey, shut the fuck up, that was a good one. A video of the Beijing half marathon is going viral after it appears that the 3 African runners, as you can see here, let the Chinese runner overtake on the final stretch and win the race. Because Kenyans and Ethiopians don't often lose. You can even see all 3 runners at different points gesturing to China's gold medalist to go in front. And when asked by the South China Post if he let the Chinese runner win, Kenyan runner Willie Manangat said yes, because he is my friend, but he wasn't paid to do so. He then changed his story 6 hours later, saying that he wasn't competing, but he was rather there as a pacemaker. But if you look at the bib he was wearing, it was the same as Hiji's, and it did not say pace, which is customary to do so. It's common practice. The Beijing Sports Bureau said that they are aware of the footage and an investigation is now being launched. And this is not even the first time that there's been drama in China's marathons. I mean, in 2018, 258 runners in a half marathon in Shenzhen, I'm not even gonna try, were accused of cheating, with some being caught on traffic cameras taking shortcuts, and others were found to have hired runners to fill in for them at different points to help them complete the race. 258 is wild. But speaking about China, if you go there and then go down a bit to Indonesia, you'll find that 11,000 people have been urgently evacuated after a volcano started erupting last night. And the visuals of this thing looks like something straight up out of a movie. A tsunami alert has been issued by authorities in the region after they expressed concerns that part of the volcano could collapse into the sea and be the thing that causes the tsunami, which has actually happened a few times in Indonesia. Most recently in 2018, killing 430 people. As of right now, though, there has luckily been no casualties recorded, but the area's international airport has been closed, and the eruptions, which were actually triggered by an earthquake, continue as of recording this. My lord, tsunamis, volcanoes, earthquakes. I mean, what is next in 2024? Floods? Oh yeah, floods, because it looks like Dubai is freaking underwater right now. The United Arab Emirates woke up on Tuesday to some pretty crazy shit, and it hasn't let up since. A stay-at-home advisory was issued after receiving an amount of rain that they would typically see over 18 months in one day. For perspective, Dubai sees roughly 100 millimeters of rain in an average year. But in the city of Al Ain, which is just 100 kilometers from Dubai, about 256 millimeters was recorded in just 24 hours. Wild. And because Dubai and the surrounding cities weren't really built to handle this much water, it's been absolutely devastating. 45 flights in and out of Dubai had to be cancelled after the airport runway was flooded, making it an absolute nightmare for planes to land. But on the whole, Dubai International Airport, the world's second busiest, is barely functional even 2 days later. Videos taken before the storm made it look like a freaking second eclipse had turned up. The Mall of the Emirates was seen gushing water through the roof, and Dubai train station was blanketed in ankle-deep water. YouTuber Jordan Welch got trapped in his Rolls Royce after it shut down. Water tankers were sent onto the streets to try and suck some of it up, and a massive crater-like landslide formed in Al Ain, taking out a huge chunk of the road and turning it into the region's first natural waterfall. And while Teslas seemed to be just powering through the water, unlike Rolls Royces, Dubai money came in clutch because some decided to ditch cars altogether and use jet skis. And this storm didn't just hit the UAE. Massive rainfall first hit Oman, causing flash flooding, and at least 20 people have lost their lives. But because this amount of rain hasn't been seen in this area since records began, people have started turning their attention to the infamous cloud seeding and wondering whether all of this destruction and chaos was man-made. Now, for those who don't know, cloud seeding has been around since the 1940s, and it's even found itself a part of some of the biggest events in history. China used it to make sure that there wasn't any rain in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Russia used it to stave away the Moscow-bound radioactive clouds in the wake of the nuclear disaster in Chernobyl. And the US, of course, used it to hamper the movement of US enemies during the war in Vietnam. Side note, since then, weather modification in warfare has been banned by the United Nations. And for a place like Dubai, which is normally very dry, they've been using this weather modification since around the 1990s to help its water shortages. And if it sounds scary and humans shouldn't be doing it, put very simply, a plane flies into the sky and shoots particles like silver iodide and salt crystals into the clouds, which just helps water vapor condense more easily and fall. But one thing it can't do is create clouds that don't exist in the first place. And not only can it not create rain, but this massive storm that Dubai had was first experienced in Oman, and there's no record of them doing cloud seeding around this storm time. So did cloud seeding cause the storm? No. But did it make it worse? Well, firstly, the National Center of Meteorology for the UAE said that they did not conduct any seeding operations during this event. They did say that they did send up planes the days prior, on Sunday and Monday, but they did not on Tuesday, which is when all of the storms hit Dubai. And since the effects of cloud seeding mostly range from immediately to 30 minutes, experts say that it's extremely unlikely for any effects to be had 24 hours later. And secondly, the scientific community is even divided on how effective cloud seeding actually is, let alone being able to trigger massive storms like this. For example, a recent synthesis by the World Meteorological Organization concluded that the increased precipitation from cloud seeding ranged from between 0 and 20%. So, and if you just Google this topic yourself, almost every expert which is cited in news articles say that the cloud seeding did not cause these floods. And I guess ultimately, if cloud seeding was that effective, then water shortages and droughts wouldn't be that big of a thing there. And that's it for today's video. I love you. Thank you again. Because it's the second week, I want to do a boom, boom, 2 for the week.